Have you ever stared at a goal so big, so intimidating, that it just feels, well, impossible? You just have no idea where to even begin. Today, we're going to zoom in on that exact moment. We're talking about day one. Let's jump into this really cool story about starting from absolute scratch. So get this. This is the bold statement from our source, a learner named Noor. No prior experience, no head start, nothing. This isn't just about learning a new language, you know. It's about staring one of the hardest languages on earth right in the face and saying, let's do this. The stakes are high right from the get-go.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The impossible challenge. We've all been there. It's that voice in your head telling you that something is just too big, too hard, too much. But what we're looking at today is what happens when you decide to take that first step anyway.
So who's taken on this challenge? Her name is Noor, and she's from Tunisia. And her motivation, it's not just for a class or something. This is deeply personal. Her dream is to learn Russian so she can one day go and study in Russia. This isn't a hobby for her. This is about her future.
Now, what's so fascinating is how this goal just completely clashes with what most people think. You say Russian, and for a lot of us, our brains immediately jump to these huge hurdles. A scary new alphabet, words that seem impossible to pronounce, and just this general reputation for being, well, impossible.
So, where do you even start with a so-called impossible language? Well, you have to start with the absolute basics. Let's see how Noor gets started with the very foundation of it all, the Cyrillic alphabet.
Okay, and this is where the fun really begins, because the Cyrillic alphabet loves to play tricks on you. You see these letters that look totally familiar, things you've seen your whole life, but they're not what you think. As Noor puts it, they lie. And that's the first big puzzle you have to solve. So for example, your brain sees this and immediately thinks B, right? Easy. But nope. In Russian, this letter is called V, and it makes a V sound. Your intuition is already being thrown for a loop.
Here's another one. You would swear on a stack of books that this is a capital H, but it's actually the letter N, and it makes an N sound. You can almost feel how confusing this must be on day one. And one more for good measure, this looks like a P, but it's actually and it makes a rolled R sound. The big takeaway here is that you literally have to unlearn what you think you know before you can even begin to learn anything new. And this quote just captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it? It's that mix of, ugh, this is frustrating, and okay, this is actually kind of funny. It's not just some boring lesson, it's a mental game, and the language is testing you from the very first minute.
Okay, so you've got all this confusion, all these letters playing tricks on you, but does it actually lead anywhere? Can it all come together in a real moment of understanding? Let's get to that breakthrough, the part where the puzzle pieces finally start to click.
This is the make or break question for anyone on day one. Are these just a bunch of random, confusing symbols, or can you actually use them to decode a real word?
All right, take a look at this. 4 little letters. Based on what we've seen, let's try and figure it out. The first and third letters are M, which is an M sound. The second and fourth are A, which make an ah sound. So, ma, ah, ma, ah.
And there it is, the payoff. Mama, mother. It's not just symbols anymore. All of a sudden, it's a word. A real, meaningful, universal word. That's the power of the mini-win, and it is absolutely everything when you're trying to stay motivated. And that is the moment. You can just feel it, right? That little spark where you go, wait a second, I can actually read this. It's the instant the impossible starts to feel, well, possible. That one tiny success changes the entire game. And that small win is so incredibly powerful because it connects straight to a much, much bigger purpose. It's not just about reading a single word. It's about what that single word represents for the future. Because this is the why. This is the engine driving this whole journey. It's not about memorizing an alphabet. It's about connecting with people. It's about unlocking brand new experiences and building a whole new kind of future for yourself. Reading the word mama is the very first step on that path.
So, when you put it all together, what have we seen? We've seen an intimidating challenge, some really confusing first steps, and then an incredible breakthrough. But the most important thing to remember is that this isn't the end of the story. Oh no, this is just the very, very beginning. So, step 1 is in the books. Day 1 was about tackling the alphabet and getting that first crucial win. But the journey keeps going. The goal for tomorrow? moving from just one word to reading full sentences. The challenge is already getting bigger.
And that brings it all back to us, doesn't it? We just walked through what a day one really looks like. The fear, the struggle, and that sweet little victory. It proves that any huge, impossible journey is really just made up of a bunch of first days. So let me ask you, what's your impossible challenge? And what does your day one look like?